Congratulations, you listed your house, you got a buyer, you're under contract, you sailed through inspections, and all of a sudden you get a call from your listing agent saying, the appraisal came in low. What options do you have as a seller if the buyer's bank appraises the value of your home lower than what you've contracted for? I'm SandiWarner with Warner Realty Group. Let's talk about how to handle a low appraisal. The first thing you want to do is understand that despite rising interest rates shrinking your buyer pool because fewer people have affordability at a higher interest rate, home prices are still increasing, just at a slower pace than they were in the spring. And because the data hasn't quite caught up with where home prices are, some homes may come out on the market priced a little bit higher than an appraiser agrees with. So that presents a challenge for sellers. If the buyer's appraiser values the home lower than what you and the buyer agree it's worth, what are your options? The first thing you can do is in your listing process, when you're talking about what that home is going to list for, this is way back before you've even got it on the market. Look at the comps. Make sure that your home is in line with what the market is saying it's worth. Because most buyers, not all buyers, but really only about 25% of all buyers in the market are cash, meaning most buyers do need a bank loan in order to purchase your home. And if they have a bank loan, they're going to get an appraisal, and the appraiser is going to look at market value. The second thing to do is to look over the comparable sales in the area once you get that appraisal back. Remember, that's going to be 4, 5, maybe 6 weeks after the first time you viewed the local comps. Once that appraisal comes back, you've probably been under contract for 2 or 3 weeks, and it was probably 2 or 3 weeks before that you viewed to determine market value. In that time, something may have changed that your appraiser didn't catch. There may be something about your house that the appraiser doesn't know. You can try to argue this, but it has to be based on actual data and facts, not just because you want the price to be different. The third thing you can do is you can ask your potential buyer to make up the difference. So say, for example, you've sold the house for $750,000. The appraisal comes in at $740,000. You could say, hey, buyer, the appraisal's in. I'm not going to make up the difference. The buyer would have to come up with an extra $10,000 down because their loan is based on the $740,000. Many buyers aren't going to want to do this, and an equal number are not even going to be able to do this. It is still a seller's market, and you do still have an upper hand to a great extent. But if the buyer doesn't have the cash, the buyer doesn't have the cash. So you may have to negotiate in this. One way that we do this via contract is what we call an appraisal gap guarantee. If you're really motivated to sell that house, you need to go somewhere. Maybe you were 3 or 4 weeks just getting on the market because you had to work or paint or whatever. And now you've been under contract for 3 weeks. So now you're 7 weeks out. You've been interrupted. You've been having to have open houses. You keep having to leave your house, or maybe you have to coordinate with multiple tenants, whatever. You could simply lower your asking price to match the appraised value and get that deal done. If you and your buyer cannot come to terms on this, your buyer has the right to cancel the contract and walk away, which puts you back on the market, which could be great. It really depends on what the market did in that period of time. The market can shift in a day. It can shift in 24 hours. It's dead quiet, and then the next day we'll get 47 calls about a single property. So that can happen, but be prepared. If you're taking a bet, a 50-50 bet, that the market's going to shift in your favor. So you're not completely stuck. It is something to bear in mind. And when your listing agent is saying to you, oh my gosh, we can't go crazy over asking price because we have to sell it once to the buyer and once to the bank. That's what that means. Unless you know your home is going to be purchased by a cash buyer, or you don't care, you will have that price regardless, and you will stay on the market as long as it takes to find the person that can manage that and that will accept that you're selling it for overvalue. You want to work with the appraised value. I hope you like this video. I'm looking forward to hearing other things that you would like us to talk about. Please subscribe to our video blog by clicking the subscribe button. Hit the like, thumbs up if you liked it, and ring the bell so you'll get notified when we put new stuff out. I'm Sandi Warner with Warner Realty Group, making the complex simple.